Right now, an unprecedented sentence. What a man did that now has him serving 475 years behind bars. Plus, stolen SNAP benefits, how thieves prey on this program, stealing millions of dollars. And we're helping you save some money even in this tight economy. This is The Take. Hello and welcome everyone. I'm Chesley McNeil and this is The Take, where we go above and beyond the headlines to look at how and why stories are impacting you and your community. We're going to have experts on to share their take and their know-it-all and their know-how, and we're also going to have a little bit of fun as well. But first, we have a 11Alive weather impact alert for you. Because of the heavy rain that's going to be pushing into our forecast area, we are looking at an 11Alive weather impact alert because that's going to lead to some problems around our area. We're talking about 2 rounds of heavy rain that's going to push in over the next couple of days, which is going to lead to some flooding, especially here in North Georgia. We do have a flood watch that we're going to show you in just a bit. We're also leading to ponding on the roadways. Of course, that's going to be a nuisance for us. Not only a nuisance, but again, could lead to problems. We'll have some heavy rain move in later on this evening, and then another round will come, pushing that total up to 3 to maybe 5+ inches in our area through about Thursday. So you know that's going to lead to some problems, folks. So we want you to be alert at least. That flood watch is for all of North Georgia. You can see from Atlanta northward where we have those highlighted counties there. Again, 3 to 5 inches possible. Some of our area rivers, creeks, and streams will begin to swell their banks, and that could lead to some problems for us as well. So we're going to keep you updated right here. Be sure to stay weather aware by downloading our 11Alive app. Just scan that QR code that's right there on your screen and get it for free, and stay right here with 11Alive Plus for constant weather updates. We'll be updating you as much as possible to let you know what's happening in the area. All right, now on to a historic sentence in Paulding County. 475 years behind bars for 57-year-old Vincent Burrell. He was found guilty on 103 charges. Prosecutors say it is the harshest penalty ever for dog fighting, and it was all from a tip from an Amazon driver. Right now, we're taking a look behind the scenes at how investigators uncovered this operation, the legal strategy that led to this unprecedented ruling, and the tiny survivor who became the face of hope. Joining us now is Caitlin Ross to tell us a little bit more about this story. And Caitlin, you talked to, first of all, good morning to you.
Good morning.
And you talked to the prosecutor exclusively.
I did, and this is such an interesting story. We really wanted to bring you behind the scenes because this is completely unprecedented. 475 years in prison. You've never even heard of that kind of a sentence for animal cruelty before. And that's why prosecutors say they really wanted to send a message. We brought Jessica Rock into 11Alive. She was the prosecutor who worked on this case and explained behind the scenes how it all came together. This is how their investigation started, from a tip from an Amazon driver.
We actually originally got notified for this particular defendant with an Amazon driver who drove up in the driveway before a privacy fence was built, saw a lot of dogs in the backyard on these heavy chains, and made a report. And we started an investigation from there. When we see these types of yards set up the way that we do, it's all purposeful.
So Caitlin, they could have tried this case in a federal court, but they decided to do it locally in Paulding County. Why?
Exactly, and that's such a good question because federally they do have a lot more resources at their disposal, but when they decide to try these cases locally, it means the judges have a lot more sway about how much time people can get. So on the federal level, max sentence 5 years in prison, no matter how many dogs they have. On the local level, those sentences can be per dog. So in this case, there were 107 dogs removed from that property, and prosecutors really wanted to send a message that each one of these dogs was a victim and each one deserved justice.
Harm to animals has been something that we have really had to push people to understand, that when there is harm to animals in a home, they're often not the only thing that's being harmed. And that is a big concern that the larger society really needs to understand. Usually these types of cases do not exist in and of themselves. Normally there's a lot more going on with people who are abusing animals.
How big of a problem is dog fighting here in Georgia?
There's only so many of us that are able to do this full time. And honestly, we can't keep up. There are a number of people that are under investigation right now. There are a number of cases waiting to be indicted that we've already done investigations on, and unfortunately it is very widespread. I get asked all the time, Jessica, how do you do this? And how have you done this for so many years? Because you see this side of humanity that a lot of people don't have to see. but it is these happy stories that make me smile. And I'm not going to say I forget about the bad, because I don't, and that's why we continue to pursue justice for these animals that are treated this way. But I do see the other side of it.
So tell us about Baby Shark. She really became the star of this entire story.
Our little emotional support dog on scene. We got her out of the cage that she was in the basement of the defendant's home, and she immediately just turned into a different dog. I mean, the photographs we have of her and her very sad face just being trapped in a cage, and then us giving her some attention, it changed who she was immediately.
Wow. Is Baby Shark still up for adoption?
Yes, Baby Shark is still available for adoption. She is at Friends of the Forlorn Pitbull Rescue right now, and they are taking applications. She just needs to be the only dog in a home. But if you do end up adopting her, please send me pictures, because she is so cute, and that smile is just priceless.
Wow, that is a survivor story right there. Thank you for joining us on The Take. Really appreciate that. Hopefully we'll see you again soon.
Absolutely.
And before you go, happy birthday.
Why, thank you, sir.
Yes, indeed.
It's my birthday.
Yeah, enjoy your birthday. All right, thanks a lot, Kaylee. All right, today, the Roswell community will band together to remember and honor the life of police officer Jeremy Labate. The 24-year-old was shot in the line of duty on Friday night. His department saying he was beloved by all who were blessed to know him as a friend, a husband, a son, and a public servant. There is a public visitation today from 3 to 6 p.m. at the Roswell United Methodist Church on Mimosa Boulevard. That will be followed by a public funeral service tomorrow at 3 p.m. at the same church. Before tomorrow's funeral, there will be a procession from Lebanon Baptist Church through downtown Roswell to Roswell United Methodist Church. The public is invited to line Crabapple Road, Canton Road, Atlanta Street, and Mimosa Boulevard to pay their respects. 20-year-old Edward Espinoza is charged with the murder, accused of shooting Officer Labate, and as he responded to a suspicious person's call. The shooting happened in a parking lot at the Ace Pickleball Club off of Holcomb Bridge Road. All right, we've been talking about this rain that's going to be coming into our forecast area. I do want to show you the forecast for the next couple of days. That alert is going to be for our area for today, or at least this afternoon, and then again for tomorrow. Wednesday is the day that we'll see the heaviest rain in the forecast area. That's where we can see some of that flooding begin to take place. So we'll continue to watch that as we go along. You'll notice our rain sticks around for much of this week. Friday, Valentine's Day, is the only chance we'll get for a break from the rain. We'll be back right after this.
Frugal Kitchens is offering our lowest prices of the year, like this amazing kitchen with quartz and 9-foot cabinets installed for $19,995. That is 50% off retail price. Get a working kitchen in just 5 working days. Call now to schedule your free design session today.
Serious truck crash? You'll need serious truck cash. And that won't come easy unless you've got someone on your side who knows how to get it for you. Call the Strong Arm, Attorney John Foy and Associates.
An 18-wheeler's most precious cargo isn't what they're hauling. It's the multi-million-dollar insurance policy that's fiercely protected by the trucking company. Let us handle the fight for you. Our truck accident experts can get you the serious truck cash you deserve.
Call Attorney John Foy and Associates today.
Right now, during the Rooms to Go President's Day mattress sale, get this very special offer. Sleep better and save big when you buy this Beauty Rest Select Hybrid or Therapeutic mattress in your choice of sizes for only $5.95. That's 2 great brands, any size, one low price. Choose twin, full, queen, even a king-size mattress, just $5.95. Plus, check out all our other great mattress buys throughout the store during the Rooms to Go President's Day mattress sale, going on now.
It's a party. Matt, the Kia guy from Calavan Kia, and we're celebrating our 4th birthday. We may only be 4 years old, but when we grow up, we want to be the biggest Kia dealer in the world. It's our biggest sale ever. Every car sold comes with a cruise for 2, Tellurides, K5, Sorrentos, and your favorite new K4s. With our million-mile promise, you'll cruise away knowing your car is covered for 1,000,000 miles. Celebrate our birthday with us and drive away with a cruise for 2. Are you ready? Let's cruise.
Why do so many people trust Frugal Kitchens? Because we offer free design, free delivery, and a working kitchen in just 5 working days. And this week, get this upgraded kitchen installed with granite or quartz for just $19,995.
Welcome back to The Take. President Donald Trump is issuing a new round of tariffs, this time 25% on all steel and aluminum imported to the United States. Now, those tariffs come just weeks after the president promised to suspend tariffs on Canada and Mexico. You may recall President Trump put a 10% tariff in place on steel and aluminum during his first administration. Those were without exceptions and exemptions. Joining us now from Washington, D.C. is NBC's Alice Barr. Alice, good morning to you, first of all.
Good morning, Chesley. Happy to join you.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. Alice, break down what we know about these tariffs and what kind of impacts we're likely to see as a result.
Yeah, so President Trump had teased this idea over the weekend, and then he went through in a little more detail yesterday. As you noted, this is a 25% tariff on all imported steel and aluminum coming into this country from other countries. Chief among them is Canada. That's where we get the largest amount of steel into this country. And President Trump had talked about this on the campaign trail as a way to bolster and rebuild the American steel industry. We've already heard from some steel workers that they are hopeful that this will do that it'll give an advantage to U.S. steel companies because anything that's coming in is going to cost more. Now, there's the question of the ripple effects of how much more everything else could cost. If it's made of metal, it might be going up. We're talking about everything from cars to canned goods to home appliances. Though President Trump rejects that idea that tariffs will mean higher prices for U.S. consumers, he made the point that foreign companies, he believes, will move to the U.S. to make their steel and aluminum here to avoid tariffs, and that will ultimately be a cost savings.
All right. President Trump's plan to get millions of federal workers to resign is still on hold due to a judge's ruling. What's the White House's next plan to get this put into place, Alice?
So it's paused right now by a federal judge, and that judge took a look, he had paused it temporarily until yesterday. There was a hearing yesterday, and it remains paused after that. He said he needs a little bit more time to take a look at this. Labor unions had sued to try to have the program thrown out. This is the one that allowed federal workers, 2 million of them were offered this buyout offer, basically, that allows them to be paid through September. And they were told it's a means of trying to cut down the federal workforce and to cut costs. Now, a lot of Democratic lawmakers specifically have been saying they don't think that there's any funding for this, there's any authority to do this, and they've been discouraging people from taking these deals. About 60,000, 65,000 federal workers have accepted the offer, but then these labor unions filed suit, the judge came in and paused it, and now it's just sort of paused indefinitely until that judge comes back with a broader ruling. And the attempt is to try by these labor unions to try to get it blocked and thrown out entirely.
Gotcha. Alice, talk to me briefly about Elon Musk and what kind of influence he has on this administration. Yeah,
broad and deep. He's been making his way through federal agencies. The next up, President Trump has indicated that he wants him to look for wasteful spending or the Departments of Education and Defense, which are big departments that have, a lot of tentacles throughout really society. So far, he's been maybe chipping away at the edges a little bit more, but if he started talking about big cuts in the Department of Education, President Trump, in fact, has spoken about getting rid of the Department of Education and sending all education decisions back to the states. And if he starts talking about any big cuts in the Department of Defense, first of all, we could be talking about a lot more money. And second of all, he could run into resistance, particularly from defense hawks, Republicans on Capitol Hill. So it'll be interesting to see where that area, where this heads now in those areas.
All right, NBC's Alice Barr, thanks so much for joining us on The Take this morning.
Thanks.
All right. Those ongoing issues with SNAP benefits continue. It's a story that Liza Lucas has been following and tracking for us for years now. Liza joins us now live on the show. And Liza, a lot of people know this program as food stamps, right? It's basically a program that helps millions of Georgians depend on making ends meet, in other words. And your new investigation, you're revealing how these thieves are preying on this program and taking millions of dollars in the process, right?
That's right. And this is through no fault of families, but it is a big crisis for a lot of Georgia families. Criminals basically see these SNAP benefits as a really easy target. And we want to be clear when we talk about this problem, yes, it's here in Georgia, but it is also happening across the country with a big cost. In fact, it was 2 years ago, you may remember, we actually first told you about the vulnerability of SNAP EBT cards. These are cards that are preloaded with funds each month. So families get that money, they go buy their groceries, and then it's reloaded again the next month. But unlike credit cards, EBT SNAP cards, they don't have the chip technology that your credit card does in your wallet right now, which makes them even more vulnerable to card skimming. Chesley.
Liza, you mentioned that a woman in Henry County named Deborah Jordan. Tell us a little bit about her story.
So Deborah, she is amazing because she is one of the voices for this story. You know, this can be an issue that is really hard to talk about when we talk about SNAP in general. She lives in McDonough. She's got lots of little kids. She homeschools them, and she qualifies for around $1,500 a month in SNAP benefits to help feed her family. She was about to do her regular shopping run, as we all do, and head to the grocery store back on December 5th when something just tipped her off. Something inside said, let me check my card and check that monthly balance. Take a listen.
I don't usually call it before because I know the benefits are there, and I called it and it said $0 balance. It was like 7 transactions of $199, and then the last one was one for $148, and it was just at like corner stores because I googled them because I was trying to figure out what it's like, you know, and it was just like corner stores in Philadelphia, and they had ran it. And they were all consecutively within, like I said, in 6 minutes. So some were at the same time, and then some were like a minute and 2 minutes apart. So I was like, how did they do that?
How do they do that? A lot of people wondering. You can see a closer look of those rapid transactions. They take place out of state. They happen within minutes. The FBI actually tells me criminals like to cash out fast with bulk purchases. Again, Chesley, SNAP theft is not a new problem. Congress and the USDA, they've been talking about this for years. And because they saw this spike in theft around 2 years ago, Congress actually required states come up with a plan for people to get that money back, and the federal government would foot the bill. But the reason why you're hearing about this so much now, Congress did not renew that funding in the latest appropriations bill. So families whose benefits were stolen after December 20th of last year, they're stuck.
All right, Liza, people depend on this money. Do we know how much has been stolen?
We do. Actually, Georgia officials tell me that they've issued more than $13 million in replacement funding for stolen SNAP. USDA data shows that nationwide, the total is $220 million. So again, a huge problem we're talking about here. This doesn't count the people that are not going to get reimbursed at all because they're after that cutoff. And it also doesn't count the people who may not have reported thefts. So the issue could be quite larger in scope.
So where do we go from here, right? As we assume criminals are targeting these credit cards, what help is there out there for these families?
Well, the big message right now, there is something you need to do if you're on SNAP and you get those EBT cards. You need to be locking your card in between purchases. That's a new feature that DHS actually rolled out in December, and we're still hearing that a lot of people don't even know about it at this point. The other question is whether Georgia and other states are going to start working to make these cards more secure, and that is a huge conversation that's been an ongoing one. Now, right now, there's no requirement for states to chip those SNAP EBT cards, even though federal regulators indicate they're kind of working on those regulations. So we'll have to wait and see if Georgia actually makes the move.
I see. Okay.
I also want to point to Georgia DHS because, you know, they're a huge part of this. They implement the SNAP program. This is what they said when I pressed them. They said while the implementation of chip technology is one of the methods they're exploring to combat SNAP fraud, it's not the only one. They were kind of quiet about all the ways they're combating it because at the same time, they don't want to tip off people and thieves in the process. But at the end of the day, any type of change is going to take a lot of coordination between federal partners, state partners, and then the stores themselves. Chesley.
All right, Liza Lucas, thank you for staying on top of this situation and continue to inform us all about it. We really appreciate you being on the show.
Thanks, Chesley.
All right, thanks a lot. Liza Lucas, not her birthday today, but she is informing us of everything that's going on. And you can check out Liza's investigation on 11alive.com/investigates. We're not done asking the questions. Of course, we're going to continue to press officials about what's next. And we're going to give you the latest right here on The Take on 11 Alive Plus as well. All right, don't go anywhere. We'll be back right after this.
If you find stuff you don't want backing up in places like this, your main problem is your main drain. And the cure for pain in the main drain is Barty. Call Barty and get things flowing today. 93 gets you back up free.
For comfort and care, Barty is there. It only happens once a year. It's always fun. It's our signature Sign and Drive event. All you got to do is sign and drive with no money down and no payments for 90 days. Plus, at Beaver Toyota, you'll receive exclusive Beaver benefits with your new car. Benefits like no-charge oil changes and car washes. And yes, even complimentary loaner cars and a lifetime powertrain warranty. It's our annual Sign and Drive event. Now, this is the way car buying should be. Only at Beaver Toyota. We're here to wow you.
My family and I wanted a fresh start, but we didn't want the hassle of selling our home. So I went to markspain.com and got a guaranteed offer.
With the guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate, you can receive an all-cash offer and close in as little as 21 days. There are no showings, no open houses, no stress.
I skipped the cleaning and repairs and sold my home for more than I expected.
The guaranteed offer keeps you in control. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today.
If you've hired a law firm and you don't know what's going on with your case, you might assume nothing is being done. Sadly, you might be right. When a law firm takes on more cases than it can handle, you don't get the service or the results you deserve. At Montlick Injury Attorneys, we give you a skilled attorney who's on top of your case from day one. If you're hurt, call #WIN now from your cell phone to speak with a Montlick Injury Attorney. That's #946. Get more money with Montlick.
Barty Home Services. From drains and fixtures to water heaters, our trusted expert plumbers handle it all. With 35 years of local expertise, dedicated to providing you the best in plumbing services. Barty Plumbing, quality service, every home, every time.
For comfort and care, Barty is there.
All right, welcome back to The Take. And while many of us are trying to make ends meet, a sizable chunk of American population is strapped should a costly emergency were to arise in their lives. A recent bank rate survey shows less than half of Americans would use their savings to pay for an emergency expense that's $1,000. Even more people would borrow money to pay for that emergency, and more than a quarter of all Americans have no savings at all. Joining us now is Alex Su, Associate Professor of Finance at Georgia Tech. Welcome to the show, Alex. Glad to have you here.
Hi, Chesley. Thanks for having me on.
All right, you heard those stats, Alex. All right, and so what is the overall state of our economy?
So there's no doubt that it's very expensive to live in the U.S. The cost of living is high. However, the overall state of the economy is actually quite good. If you look at different statistics like unemployment, which is at close to historical lows. If you look at looking back 75 years. Inflation, as measured by change in CPI, is also back down to 3%, which is closer to the 2% target set by the central bank. And over the last year, the U.S. private sector has been consistently adding about 200,000 jobs a month, which is quite good. And most notably, the financial market is booming. The stock market is returning, 25% in 2024 and 5% in 2023. That kind of growth is very high in historical terms. But the prices are high precisely because the economy is good. So it's kind of a double-edged sword that way.
So would you say that the hope is in the short term or hope is in the long term?
Well, I think that the U.S. economy overall, like I mentioned, is very strong, which is good for households in the sense that, for job seekers looking for switch jobs and looking for higher paying jobs, there should be plenty of jobs out there for people to find. And we know that real wage, which is real wage growth, which is growth in your paycheck or after accounting for inflation, is still positive. So people are making more money even though the prices are still going up. In the short run, I don't see any danger in the economy. In the long run, I think I would say in terms of hope for the economy is that I do believe I'm no psychologist, but I think we're still feeling a little bit of the after effect of COVID. So because of the COVID lockdown and the stimulus package the government sent out, I think we're all kind of used to spending on goods and spending for travel after the COVID lockdown was lifted. So that level of consumer spending has not really abated. So we're still spending a lot of money buying stuff, again, paying for travel, and that kind of elevates the price. But I think in the long run, that things should normalize and the spending level should come down to more like in line with historical averages.
Gotcha. So when you say to someone who's on a fixed income who needs to really start building their savings right now?
The U.S. financial market, especially the stock market, is possibly the greatest growth engine we'll have ever seen in the history of mankind. Even for people on fixed income, they should have some exposure to the stock market. And I'm not talking about buying individual stocks, like picking like Tesla or whatever, but rather you can invest in the broad market index such as the Nasdaq or S&P 500, which are they're going to have the market is going to have up and downs. But if you're a long-term investor, the market will go up on average in the long run, right? So you can invest in these market indices through what's called exchange-traded funds or ETFs. Typically, they have very low fees. They often provide a quarterly dividend. These ETFs do. So it makes them very much like a fixed income asset. So that's good for investors, even if they're on fixed income. And also, with higher interest rates now, the 10-year Treasury is yielding at 4.5% annually, and investors can invest in that themselves. You can go to treasurydirect.gov and buy Treasury bonds, and that will provide coupons, every 6 months. And that's a great way for investment. The main thing is you got to take your money out of savings accounts. Savings accounts don't provide you any growth. It's hard to build wealth if you keep your money in savings accounts.
All right, Professor Alex Su from Georgia Tech, thanks for joining us. Next time you're on the show, of course, we're going to get some tips from you on how we can quickly build that income. Build a next level.
Thank you.
We need that.
Appreciate it.
Thanks a lot, Alex. Really appreciate it. All right, another area which is making the wallet seem a little bit thinner is paying for car insurance. Yeah, people here in Metro Atlanta are really feeling the pinch. New numbers show the national average cost for a year of full coverage on car insurance is now more than $2,600. That's about $220 a month. Idaho has the lowest premium, while Florida has the highest premium. Where does Georgia sit? Where we're the 9th highest annual premium. In the metro area, the price tag is a little bit higher. The average annual premium is a little more than $3,100. It's about 0.6% higher from last year. That takes us up nearly 4%. And it takes up nearly 4% of our annual income. And some things which can drive up that cost to make it even higher here in the metro area is insuring teenage drivers, which you probably could guess that, seeing your credit score drop, being convicted of a DUI, or causing a crash, getting into a wreck. All right. Don't go anywhere, folks. We got much more show for you coming right after the break with something to think about. You're watching The Tape. We'll be back right after this.
My name is Tim Leith. I was sitting at a red light. Out of nowhere, I just got rear-ended. I reached out to Morgan & Morgan directly from the scene. It was incredibly simple to get the process started. I never actually had to physically set foot into Morgan & Morgan. You can literally do everything from your cell phone. I was able to get emails, text messages. Morgan & Morgan got my initial offer 10x'd. And I never even got a check. I just got a direct deposit into my bank account. It's so easy.
Kick off the new year in a new Subaru. You'll find yours at Troncalli Subaru on Highway 9 in Cumming. Take home a new Subaru Outback and take advantage of 2.9% financing for 72 months. And we'll maintain the love with complimentary maintenance included. Shop us online for more great offers and kick off the new year in a new Subaru. Troncalli Subaru, where customers send their friends. On Highway 9 in Cumming and online at troncallisubaru.com.
At Pinnacle Home Improvements, your project begins with me.
With me.
With me.
With me. With me.
At Pinnacle Home Improvements, your exterior home remodeling project begins with each of our team of experts. That teamwork dynamic is how we provide exceptional service to every customer. Whether it's your home, windows, roofing, or siding project,
your project begins with me. With me. With me.
Your total satisfaction is our mission at Pinnacle Home Improvements, where your project begins
with me.
With me.
At Interactive College of Technology, you get more than a career-focused education. You'll get admissions help and financial planning support from day one. Teachers that care about you. You get academic advisors. And there's career assistance coordinators that help you find interviews when you graduate or anytime after. At ICT, we will stand by you to help you get the future you want. So, visit ict.edu to set up a free tour today.
All right, welcome back to the show. Here's something to think about. You ever wonder why the MVP of the Super Bowl utters those words, "I'm going to Disney World" or Disneyland after winning a big game? Well, it all started over 3 decades ago when the then CEO of Disney, Michael Eisner, decided to use that quote in an ad. Quarterback Phil Simms of the football Giants, New York football Giants, was the first back in 1987 to do it. He didn't really want to do it, but they paid him $50,000 to do so. Here's what I'm wondering right now. How much do they pay to do that now? Yeah, Jalen Hurts in the big game, just won. How much you think he makes? Just by saying, "I'm going to Disney World." Maybe that's where I'm going after this show. Hey, hope you enjoyed it. Here's your moment of Zen.